私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
Continuing right where we left off from the previous chapter, one of the boys hands Reneko a bottle of water. Still shaken from the light anemia, she apologizes for the incident. Ajisai proceeds to tell the guys that they'll be fine now, and they can leave. Thankfully, at least one of the guys understood the assignment, so the two of them departed without any worry. Still, Reneko feels bad about how things turned out. Just as she tries to explain herself, Ajisai interjects with an apology. She tells Reneko she should have realized sooner that she was bad with boys and rejected them earlier. Reneko then starts telling her it's okay, and that if Ajisai prefers their company, then she'd be fine being left alone. Ajisai reacts strongly to this, looking Reneko in her eyes. She's here to have fun with Reneko, not with anyone else. She's Ajisai's priority in this outing. Once again, Ajisai takes Reneko's hand, reassuring her that she is, in fact, here, on a date with Reneko, alone. This makes Reneko finally accept Ajisai's resolve and understand more the scope of her people-pleasing. Ajisai starts to tease Reneko, asking her if she truly does understand the extent of her personality, flaws, and all. Reneko can only seriously nod to her in response. Starting now, Reneko will try to keep that in mind, and just like that, a new chapter has begun in their relationship. Afterward, Ajisai lets Reneko in on a little secret Onesan technique that she's been using that would get anyone listening. Reneko realizes that's exactly what's been done to her, and she's been duped. Ajisai checks in one more time to make sure everything's fine now. And then, she stands, signaling the start of their trip back home. As they've done the whole day, Ajisai extends her hand again for some hand-holding and lets Reneko know that there will be more Ajisai date chapters in the future. In Reneko's mind, there's no longer any doubt that beyond any flaws Ajisai may have, she sure is an angel. But just as the chapter may look like it's coming to a close, they run into a poster for a game. Ajisai notices Reneko staring at it and asks if she plays games. Reneko almost instinctively lies, but she admits she plays a little. Ajisai turns bubbly and gets closer to the poster for a photo, while also sharing how she got into games cause of her little brothers. She admits that she prefers the prequel rather than the poster game itself, though. All of a sudden, Reneko grabs onto her ferociously. In a hysteric voice, she declares to the angel Ajisai that she too loves games. But that was a fatal error. How could she let herself get this worked up over some shared hobby? Thankfully, Ajisai isn't fazed and is even happy to learn more about her friend. She proceeds to show further interest, asking Reneko what she usually plays. What an angel she is. Later, the two find themselves riding the train home, continuing their talk from earlier. Ajisai is happy to learn Reneko had bought a game she's been meaning to try out. Not missing this opportunity, Reneko lets out an awkward invitation to come over to her house for some playtime. Ajisai angelically accepts the invitation. It's as if Reneko has finally gotten used to being a normie, although she should probably cheapen her idea of friendship. All this has Reneko apologizing to Mai in her own mind since she's finally getting a new friend, who was already kind of a friend. It was then that she received a message. Now at home in her loungewear, Reneko knows exactly who it is. It's Mai, and she just sent a thirst pic to check if Reneko has fallen for her yet again. Reneko replies with a deadpan expression and wishes her luck with work. Suddenly, her phone rings with a call. Reneko answers with a distant voice, to which Mai picks up on. She assumes her lover has just been sulking from loneliness, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Not wanting to scare Reneko away, Mai tells her that her hair is currently tied and that their friendship is currently on. Remembering how she saw Mai on TV recently, Reneko lets her know that it was a pretty cool experience seeing a friend like that. Once again, Mai teases Reneko, asking if she's fallen for her again. Getting right to business, though, Reneko asks how she's doing over in France. At the start, Mai tries to say it's doing swell, but she then admits she doesn't really do much. The job is pretty much a couple of interviews and a couple of photos from time to time. Reneko finds it a bit hard to understand. Isn't that what models are meant to do anyway? Posing for photos and pulling off looks only they can do, that's the quality of a true model. In a gloomy voice, Mai says the only quality she has is being the daughter of her mother. Before Reneko fully digests what she muttered, though, Mai tries to brush it off. But Reneko can't simply forget it. The two of them are best friends, and she can't ignore her saying such lonely words. Mai develops a smile on her face. Getting serious, she very fervently declares her love for Reneko once again.
Ah, I love you so much, Renako.
Renako can only sit in silence, red and stunned at the declaration. Mai apologizes for venting, and Renako, still stumbling on her words, says it's no biggie. They may not be together on the rooftop right now, but Renako wants Mai to know that, just like a good One-chan, she can tell her anything she wants. The thought of One-chan Renako amuses Mai, but it's lacking. Mai proceeds to once again explain what being a lover means to her. An irreplaceable person, that's what Renako really is to Mai. The reason why doesn't really matter either. The time and place aligned, and destiny brought them together. As always, Renako is finding it hard to be convinced. She believes Mai will surely outgrow this phase. She then clarifies with Mai what she said with a straighter face. To a degree, Renako admits that Mai is also an irreplaceable person to her. After all, she would not be able to stand another woman who's as pushy as her. Mai is happy to hear her say those kind words. Renako, though, says she's just a normal person like any other. So normal. She now knows how to change topics. Mai had just gotten free time in between shoots when she was smiling at some photos of Renako, which came as a shock to the girl in question, who doesn't remember being photographed. Mai reassures her, though, that her co-workers also think she's very cute. Renako isn't very happy that she's being shown off as Mai's lover, but Mai is even more adept at changing topics. Finally, Renako tells Mai about her time with Ajisai and their future at-home date. All of a sudden, Mai's voice turns serious as she can't believe what she's hearing. She then proceeds to accuse Renako of cheating, to which Renako tries to explain herself.
Immediately after our relationship becomes long distance, you cheat on me? How horrible.
You're not getting it. Renako clarifies that they aren't real lovers anyway, so she can have fun with whoever. Mai has had it and tells Renako that she's only ever been a friend. Wait, what in the world is happening right now? Renako brings up the time Mai forcefully kissed her, so now she shouldn't be mad when something unpleasant is done to her. But in all fairness, Renako did kind of enjoy it. Suddenly, Mai proclaims that she too will go out on a date, and with a hot supermodel to boot. Renako is shocked to her core, and just as quickly, Mai takes back her words. Yes, indeed, Mai turns it into a joke and admits she is nowhere near strong enough to go through with such a thing out of spite. Renako lets out a sigh of relief in response. Wait, why are you now relieved? Going with the flow, Mai then asks Renako if the jig is up and she should say how her date with Ajisai was a joke all along. But sadly, it was reality. Mai is furious. Renako is tired though, and throws her phone away. She's known all along that love wasn't good, but if it gets Mai that worked up, it's surely even worse than she thought.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
With Mai still away on her trip, what will become of the friend group that is the Angelic Four? Starting off the episode, we have little Kaho letting out a pretty big voice of complaint to her boring life without Mai. Meanwhile, Satsuki tries to calm her down with the power of deadpan sarcasm. Kaho, though, explodes further due to this attempt. No one understands that it's natural to feel this way in the absence of the super darling that is Mai Otsuka. Trying to cheer up Kaho, Ajisai agrees that she too felt pretty lucky being in the presence of Mai, and she also passes the conversation over to Renako, who thinks the same. After all, Mai alone does a lot to increase the value of their uniform to society. But these superficial words don't seem to appease Kaho, who even turns to Satsuki for some backup. As expected, the words that came from Satsuki aren't any warmer either. In fact, she thinks life has become a bit more relaxing without her around. Kaho calls Satsuki's bluff, however, telling her she looks lonely not having anyone to argue with anymore. What follows can only be called divine judgment through Satsuki's hand. Mai can't help but think that things get pretty weird without Mai around. She relates the experience to listening to music with earphones, but with only one bud. It feels off, yet is peaceful enough. Either way, homeroom has ended, and Renako and Ajisai will be going home together now. The thought has Renako feeling fuzzy inside. The reason being, of course, is that today marks the day when Renako fulfills her promise with Ajisai of a house date, much to Mai's displeasure. Ajisai is now the second friend Renako has invited over to her house after Mai this month alone. Things are looking pretty bright for Renako's high school life after all. But what is this? Someone seems to be inside Renako's peaceful home, and in a poetic twist of fate, it's the real Oneg-chan in Renako's life, Not skipping a beat, Renako activates show-off mode, letting her sister know she has a friend over. Expectedly, she's pretty dazzled by Ajisai's beauty, which Renako can only be proud to show off. Ajisai takes the compliment in stride while Renako's sister apologizes for the strong reaction. She also doesn't forget to properly leave her sister's care to Ajisai while taking shots at Renako at the same time. Renako activates show-off mode once again, telling her sister not to disturb them as they play in her room. Ignoring this, Renako's sister takes advantage of the opportunity and exchanges contact with the angel Ajisai. Renako can only think to herself how difficult her sister is in times like these. Nevertheless, Ajisai is pleasantly surprised that Renako's sister is nothing like her little runt brothers back at home, a total beauty. Renako remarks that that's possibly due to her sister sharing the same tastes as her. Realizing she said something only a girl lover would say, she tries to bring Ajisai's attention to her room. Games upon games? What will they play now, I wonder? Ajisai is pretty amazed too. Renako's collection is on a completely different level from what she has in her own house. While Ajisai is amazed, Renako can only sit there in disbelief that this level of degeneracy isn't a social norm. Finally, Ajisai picks a game she's been interested in from the treasure trove. Shockingly, for Renako, it's a game she's played with Mai in the past. With Mai's cheating accusations loud in her mind, she reasons to herself that she and Mai can play it again later anyway. Before they begin, Ajisai lets Renako know that she's just a gaming scrub and apologizes in advance for the burden. Of course, Renako doesn't mind. In fact, no one shall even get near the angelic Ajisai while Renako is around. Hopefully, Ajisai still gets to play to some degree. Realizing her try-hardiness can be bothersome, she downgrades to only leaving the enemies alive for one hit, to which Ajisai responds,
Haha, just play normally, okay?
In saying so, Ajisai actually puts her hand on Renako. Her touch, her smell, it's all being felt by Renako's Yuri heart. She's left shaken, trying her best to get back her straight bearings. She can only proclaim that she'll try to do things normally. But what is normal anyway? In truth, Renako hasn't played with anyone else other than Mai. Whatever the case, playing games is in Renako's blood. All she can try to do is play her bets, not making a single mistake. Suddenly, Ajisai lets out a cute scream, leaving her quite embarrassed. Unfortunately, it also leaves Renako fueled up with Yuri-filled thoughts. She can't help but think that this is a cute contrast to when she played with Mai, who's pretty calm and try-hard herself. But what is Renako doing? She can't be thinking of another woman at a time like this. While Renako is distracted by her lewd thoughts, Ajisai remarks on how well Renako is doing at this game. It's like she remembers exactly where the enemies appear. Of course, Renako is too embarrassed to admit that she does. In response to this, however, Ajisai gives her a compliment to remember, calling Renako cool. For a moment, Renako mistakes it for a compliment to her character, but Ajisai quickly clarifies that she means Renako is cool with how she's good at games. The idea confuses Renako greatly. Taking this chance, Ajisai asks Renako if it's cool if she comes over to her house next time. Naturally, Renako wastes no time accepting the invitation. But Ajisai continues to say how her little brothers would love to have a gaming big sister around, much to the Yuri-minded Renako's disappointment. Having had enough of the mind games with herself, Renako goes right out and asks Ajisai what type of people she likes. Ajisai is shocked by this inquiry, wondering if it's because she came off as someone with high standards. But although Renako pushes further, Ajisai can only admit that she doesn't really have someone like that to consider her ideal. Ajisai is fine with anyone really, as long as she has fun with them, but she does prefer a more calming personality to match her own. A big bad dom would naturally be hard to deal with, so Renako supposes someone like Mai wouldn't do any good. Cementing her place as ultimate Onai-san, Ajisai happily declares that Mai and everyone in their group are super kind. But one trait of an Onai-san is perceptiveness, so she catches that there must be something on Renako's mind to bring this up. Because of the questioning, Renako fears that her secret lover relationship may be exposed. Sure enough, Ajisai is able to conclude that when someone asks about someone's love life, it's either because they themselves have someone they like, or they like the person they're asking. Renako lets out a chuckle as the idea suggests that she likes Ajisai. This in turn gets Ajisai blushing, but Renako quickly shuts down the idea. Wearing a playful grin, Ajisai then proceeds to tease poor Renako about the whole misunderstanding. After Renako awkwardly shot out her rejections, Ajisai, with the most adorable face she can muster, says, "It's too bad." Feeling low on health, Renako can only beg for mercy. But then she realizes that the whole act was Ajisai playing around with her and quickly puts back on a straight face. As an act of revenge, Renako playfights Ajisai, and then it happened. Ajisai falls to the floor and takes on quite a seductive pose. To Renako, this can only seem like an angel has fallen from the sky to tempt others in our mortal world. Not the most friendly thought Renako's ever had. Feeling the utmost guilt, she begs Ajisai for forgiveness, which she easily gives, though she finds it hard to understand why Renako is so pained. Suddenly, the doorbell rings.
No need to open the door?
It's all right, my sister's home anyway.
The two quickly go back to their flirty play, but life, however, has other plans as someone comes bursting in the room. And look who it is. It's Renako's little sister.
Onei-chan! A Hollywood actress just arrived at our doorstep.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった？
Making a surprise visit to the Renako household is Mai Otsuka, with a bunch of roses to boot.
Hi, honey.
Seeing Mai so suddenly with roses in hand, Renako can only stare in disbelief. Being a good girlfriend, Mai quickly explains how it is she's here right now, though Renako is still baffled as to why. Alas, it's a futile question with Mai standing here with her hair down. It's obvious what she's here for. As expected, Mai starts going for a welcome home kiss, prompting Renako to protest. After all, Ajisai is visiting today. They can't just go and do lewd things as normal. Instead, Mai suggests they all just play together. So, just like that, after handing over the roses to her soon-to-be stepmom, Mai lets herself inside the house of her lover once again. Looks like a troublesome day awaits our poor heroine once again. With the pair returning to Renako's room, Ajisai is naturally surprised by Mai's sudden appearance. Mai once again explains herself as Renako stands scared stiff of what could possibly be coming. At the same time, Mai spots fresh meat in the corner of the room, Renako's sister. Locking into her target, Mai approaches to introduce herself with utmost formality and aura. Worried that she'll be a victim of little sister NTR, Renako tells Mai not to go after her sister. But it was just a simple greeting, so can she really be blamed for Renako's sister being entranced? Ajisai, though, having known the power of Mai's face, can understand why Renako's sister is so stunned right now. Connecting the dots to the Hollywood star in the TV Renako was flaunting, the little sister realizes that Mai is that very friend she spoke of. Mai confirms her inquiry with natural grace, making sure to big up Renako at the same time. Renako's little sister still can't believe that such a woman would be friends with her poor sister. In fact, she even suspects this is all just a prank, looking around the room for cameras. Meanwhile, Renako is filled with unsure thoughts. Stuck in between Ajisai and her lover, Mai, both inside her room, what is she to do about this situation? Pressured by the situation, Renako started to hear imaginary voices speaking to her. In her head, imaginary Ajisai is being sour about Mai barging into their fictional date. Imaginary Mai, meanwhile, is ready to punish Renako for cheating on her with an oneg-san. Putting aside the level of delusion mixed in with reality, Renako can't help but feel like she's nothing but an evil two-timer in this situation. With her back pressed against a mental wall, Renako musters all her remaining brain cells to find a way out of this predicament, and that is, of course, to drag her sister in on this mess. Thankfully, still enchanted by Mai's unparalleled beauty, little sister has nothing against the idea of spending more time with the group. With this many people, surely even Mai wouldn't dare attack Renako at this stage. But Renako's thoughts are only met with Mai's innocent smile. How dangerous really is the beast that is Mai Otsuka? And why is little sister recommending Smash Bros for friendly bonding? After a day of playing around, the time has finally come. Looking at the time on her phone, Ajisai shares that she must regrettably be on her way home. She also has to pick up her brother from school still, so there's really no choice at the moment. Hearing this, Renako happily offers to accompany Ajisai to the station. But not so fast, the little sister ain't having it. With a face that screams mercy, Renako's little sister does not want to be left alone inside the room with just Mai. Attempting to take out two lovely birds with one stone, Renako asks Mai if she would also like to be taken to the station. Sadly for Renako, Mai isn't going out that easy as she already predicted this and asked to be picked up at Renako's home. Just like that, Mai is assured extra time in Renakoville. Taking advantage of Renako's mental defeat, her sister takes the initiative to escort Ajisai to the station. leaving Renako to be devoured alone. Not that Renako's little sister cares about that, she's gonna have the time of her life having Ajisai all to herself. Hearing how happy Renako's sister is at the prospect of spending more time with her, Ajisai can't help but feel pretty happy herself. Finally, they make their way out, and Ajisai says her goodbyes to both Renako and the newly returned Mai. Before fully leaving, Renako's little sister doesn't forget to try her best saying goodbye to the unparalleled beauty as well. But after that gets done, the two are finally left with nothing but silence. Sensing the imminent danger, Renako reaches for the game controller on the ground as she attempts to continue their fun game time. Unfortunately for Renako, Mai already has her sights set on only the lewd type of play as she goes in for an embrace.
That was quite a strange noise you just made.
Well, that was some pretty strange speed. You beast.
Hearing such extreme protest, Mai tries to play the guilt trip card. But at this point, Renako is smart enough to know it was all for Mai's own lewd sake. Faced with such words, Mai uncharacteristically admits as much. Despite what Mai may say, all this is for her own selfishness in the end, just as Renako can see. Even after all they've done though, Mai still can't help but try to look good in front of her lover. Suddenly, she takes Renako's cheeks and just as suddenly goes in for an intimate kiss. As expected, Renako immediately pushes her, asking Mai to please stop. But unlike the usually aggressive Mai, Renako is faced with an emotionally distraught girl who admits to petty jealousy towards a friend like Ajisa. Love isn't a pure endeavor, even in something as pure, dirty thoughts can emerge. Nevertheless, Renako finds it hard to process how Mai could feel such things for little Ole her. Seeing Renako feel so distraught herself, Mai becomes more forward with her comfort. Despite anything Renako may think, she is the one Mai has these feelings for. This gets a fat blush from the once loner girl, but even with all the kind words, she still can't see why Mai would pick her over anyone else, like the beautiful Ajisai. Going for the embrace now from the front side, Mai reassures Renako that she likes her, and only her. This gets Renako squirming with embarrassment. Despite this, Mai is in her own little world as she comments on Renako's scent. Bringing up old news, Renako says that her feelings for Mai are only as a friend. But taking a page from Renako's book, Mai uses the status of their current lover relationship as a shield against any rebuttal. Showing no mercy, Mai immediately strikes at the always reliable weak spot, the earlobe. In the middle of this, Mai starts talking about consent despite her constant disregard for such things. To drive the point home further, she literally starts to say how she wants to own Renako. What the hell is going on here? Good luck, Renako. As Mai switches up to giving some neck action, Renako is hit with a critical strike in the form of some tongue. Naturally, this grosses the somewhat straight girl out, but just as she starts to complain about Mai's lewdness, her clothes start to undress themselves, courtesy of Mai Ozuka's hands. Trying to play it off as Mai, wanting to change her out of her uniform, Renako is not ready for the level of degeneracy Mai is about to unleash as they sink further into the floor. Half undressed and splayed out on the floor, Renako begs one more time for Mai to stop. As expected, Mai once again simply professes her love. Seeing Mai start to inch closer and closer towards her now lewd form, Renako starts to think about how she can make the most out of getting assaulted. I mean, if you do it with Mai Ozuka, you must be one of the luckiest people on earth. Mai places her fingers on Renako's two bra-clad mounds.
I'll take it off now.
You can't.
Knowing how futile it is, Renako mentions how unbelievable this situation is right now. In response, Mai remarks how she's always wanted to be in a situation like this. Yeah, go figure. Chapters ago, Mai did write this exact scene on her list of things she wanted to do. Filled with horror and suspense in her eyes, Renako wonders till her last breath why Mai even wants to touch her, given they're both girls. Placing her hand on her cheek, Mai clarifies that, right now, she just wants to feel the warmth of the one she loves. Starting to feel the pleasure of Mai's touch, Renako starts to think to herself how they're unlikely to be able to stay as friends if they go through with this. With that in mind, she goes for a desperate leg attack to push Mai away.
I don't want this!
Unfortunately, all she did was provide the appetizer to Mai's full-course meal as she now starts to admire the body fat percentage of Renako's legs. Even after that attack, Renako still can't believe how easily Mai says words of love and like. But Mai reinforces her seriousness in her words. She wants Renako to be her lover. She wants a real relationship with her. Faced with such sincerity, Renako is at a loss. There's no doubt that, if things continue, Renako won't be able to stop falling for Mai as she is just that good of a person. However, that can't be right. If they do become a thing, her standing in society may change, but it'll be because of Mai and not her own power. After all, things can't continue this path just yet.
Hey, Mai.
As she's just about to let Mai in on the deep thoughts she was just having, Renako notices something amiss in Mai's eyes. They seem to be laser-focused on just one place, Renako's special place. And almost like we're in a girls' love gag manga, Mai suddenly pounces hard with feral intent. With Mai monstrously professing her love once more, Renako can't understand why she's feeling this way about her panties when they've already seen each other naked. With a sparkle in her eye, Mai proceeds to educate Renako on the sanctity of panties and how they should be kept hidden from mortals. With Mai intent on going all in, Renako uses her last line of defense of throwing insults in Mai's direction, to which she simply reassures her that she'll be gentle. Mai even starts talking about some anniversary they apparently have as her hands start to explore the bare legs of her captured prey. As Mai moves towards a world-famous position, Renako doesn't stop screaming out in protest every step of Mai's way. Taking a look at Mai's face, Renako can only see a deranged girl who can't stop spouting nonsense about love. It seems Renako has finally reached game over after all. But then, as if things couldn't get any worse, her sister comes bursting through the door. The world-famous position, now the world's most shameful one. Renako's little sister is turned to stone, yet somehow manages to quickly slam the door shut, all without a word spoken. Distancing herself, Mai finally regains her sanity, apologizing to Renako for getting just a little bit carried away. Taken over by the emotions of the moment, Renako lets out a fierce slap. Letting out all her anger and frustrations, Mai says everything possible to let Mai know what just happened was absolutely cooked. Once again disillusioned of the idea of being lovers, Renako harshly tells Mai to get out of her room. Keeping things short, Mai sincerely apologizes as she makes her way out of the room of her now angry lover.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
Still sulking from getting seen being lewd by her little sister, Renako is conflicted by the chain of events. Perhaps she should have done a better job refusing Mai's advances? But thinking back, she didn't really have an issue with it as it was happening. Does this mean Renako is fully converted to the cult of girls' love? The thought makes Renako freeze. It could be that Renako simply felt worried about Mai, who is also her friend. As she's busy talking to herself, though, someone comes knocking at her door. It's Renako's little sister. But how can she face her after such shame? Having her sister witness her do something so lewd and immoral, how can Renako go on? Thinking to herself how she doesn't want to be seen, her little sister enters the room anyway. Left with no other choice, Renako commits to acting like a broken telephone in hopes her sister gets the message. For a moment, Renako's little sister contemplates her next move. And to Renako's misfortune, she outright asks about her sister's relationship with Mai. Hearing this, Renako sinks deeper into despair, knowing the futility of denying it, considering what her sister saw was clear as day. Left with no other choice, she can only confess to the crime. This gets Renako feeling all sorts of negative things about her reality as a human. However, just when all hope seems lost, Renako's sister utters one key word:
Amazing!
Shining brighter than ever before, the little sister is astonished by such a revelation, much to Renako's utter confusion. Flabbergasted, the little sister shakes Renako down for an inside scoop as to how she, of all people, bagged someone as amazing as Mai. Renako confesses she has no clue herself. After all, Mai is the one obsessed with her. This shocks Renako's sister even more, but alas, Renako has no good explanation for this as well. Faced with this shocking reality, Renako's little sister can only look at her in amazement. And, just as Renako hoped for in the previous chapter, her relationship with Mai is already doing God's work in terms of garnering respect. Renako's sister looks back at her old worries of ending up with a good-for-nothing brother-in-law, considering the state of Renako. But now that Mai is in the picture as future sis-in-law, it's just a totally amazing situation, right? The words elicit a pause in Renako's thoughts. Is her little sister really being serious right now? Two girls can't get married after all. Moving her sulking session to the bath, Renako is left with nothing but her own thoughts. She feels bad about what had transpired in the end. Sure, Mai was out of line, but slapping your own friend just doesn't sit right with Renako's innocent heart. whatever the case may be, the only thing left to do is to apologize properly. Perhaps a message after she finishes her bath may suffice? No, calling would definitely be better. But with that in mind, it's clear that face-to-face is the best way. Thinking about all this, Renako can't help but be reminded of how troublesome being lovers is. Surely, if they had stayed as just friends, all this would have been avoided. Along with all these thoughts, Renako also reflects on how, because of Mai, she's turned into a lewd girl who can't interact normally when talking with other girls. She does still feel bad for slapping Mai, but that's it. Or is it? Is it possible Renako actually does hold special feelings? No, Renako can't just easily accept it. With that in mind, she steels herself to try her best once again in turning Mai over to the side of friendship. Sometime later, now that Renako is at school, she finds Mai's seat is empty. Could she have asked for leave? Time passes as normal, with Renako still bothered by worry. As she's absorbed in her thoughts, Ajisai takes notice of the unnatural happiness coming from Kaho. She seems to be brimming with joy about something or the other. Kaho proceeds to mention something about after school. Ajisai takes it as some juicy news about some love story scoop. Whatever it may be, it's an event for later in the day, and it surely doesn't concern Renako, who, speaking of, is still absorbed in her own thoughts about friendship and if the normal days can truly return just like that. That's it, Renako simply wants things to return back to normal. But what exactly was their relationship before? Was it as a mere friend group, or were they best friends? Or perhaps something more? The problem still stands, however. She must still apologize, and it's even harder while being in this state of mind. Suddenly, a wild Satsuki approaches from behind, demanding her attention. Can you spare some of your time after school for a bit? Eh? Looks like that whole love talk may involve Renako yet. Renako, though, can only think about how rare it is to be approached first by Satsuki. But she quickly finds out why as Mai gets brought up. Satsuki wishes to speak about her after school and on the rooftop. This perplexes Renako a bit. How could Satsuki know about using the rooftop? The same thing she and Mai had promised to keep a secret all those chapters ago? That's right, a secret between only her and Mai. The thought makes Renako shudder. Is it possible that Satsuki knows about their secret relationship?
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
Did that leave you hanging? Check out our other works here, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.